Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Drifters Atlas Presents Dungeon. Hope y'all are having a good evening. I'm your host, Zach, and I've got my 5 wonderful players with me tonight. We'll go through real quick and do a brief introduction of each one. We have, let's see, I think we're at the point now where in the stream, in the campaign, where we should just start chit-chatting about players or about characters and leave names out of it to some extent. Um, so let's just do that. So we have our Shatter Kai, um, Blood Hunter, Aeolin Idolmist coming back tonight. Clara Silverbone, the Dwarven Cleric of Life. Ode the Fey Knight, the Human Paladin. Cornelius Emberkeg, our know-it-all adventurer who's seen it all, dwarven wizard.
I'm hurtful by know-it-all.
Well, sometimes the truth hurts. Then we have Felix Moradin's son, the Nephilim linguist. We have our ragtag group who is figuring things out, getting things done, and plowing through this dungeon. Speaking of which, Tyler, you have been chit-chatting all week about pondering this dungeon, trying to figure it out, trying to figure out riddles. Would you mind doing a simple recap of last week's session?
Okay, so last week, I want to say we only cleared maybe 2, 3, 4 rooms.
Mm-hmm.
We had moved through a lot, but we believe we moved down into the next section of the dungeon. From there, we proceeded into a center room that was much the same as before. Another post with, right?
There was another post?
And then I'm trying to remember what else we came into. It's been 2 weeks, so it's was there more moss on this floor?
There was. You guys found a dead end room that had some moss that you dealt with, and then you also found something that somebody broke. Do you remember somebody breaking something?
Yes, we found a chest, and our good friend Cornelius, in all his wisdom, decided to just break it open.
I think all those were already broken.
Yeah.
And there was a loud noise. And then we did encounter the door.
Yes.
Door is what I call it. The door, which has a puzzle that reads, and I saw this on the chat log from last week, so I'll read it again. In Draconic, it says, "Where one is blind, one shall fall. Where one sees another, where one sees another. Opened eyes turn blue, while a blind may lead another."
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Trying to remember if there's anything else that was like super important. You managed to pick up some lore last session, if I remember right. You learned a little bit about a lady knight who, if I remember right, Felix and Ode maybe compiled some information there, but you guys learned something about a knight, and you found that her statue's area had been walled off from the rest of the dungeon. And then Ode, you got a raven, which it's a stone raven with sapphire eyes, and it says something in particular so far. What does it say?
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good. I believe it kept screaming because it wasn't exactly saying it.
Fair enough.
Something along the lines of "kneel and know your place."
There you go. Kneel and know thy place. And what did you end up naming this raven?
I named it Chiar.
Yes, that's right. And the raven on roll 20, um, Ode, is now should be movable by you. So
Ooh, fancy.
up until the point where it leaves you for another, um, you can carry it with you.
That was ominous and threatening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Perfect. Thank you, Tyler, for that. Go ahead and take inspiration for recounting nearly everything, and because your character seems to need it so far, so we'll just
Hurtful.
keep you juiced.
Yeah, especially if I go trying to open this big door.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. So yes, so you all like have gone through the very top layer of the dungeon. You've delved one layer down. You kind of cleared out 90% of that area, and then you saw that the sludge was pooling more and starting to fill up that space, that acidic sludge. So you decided to go ahead and traipse your way down to the third level, and you've kind of just surged north, and we'll go ahead and transition to the map for everyone who is at home. So you all have surged north, and you have pushed your way through a couple sets of double doors, and you arrived at a set that glows white and that has these draconic runes that you've shared with us. And you are certain that there is arcane wards on this door, though you haven't. Basically, as you were starting to manipulate them with the intent of unlocking it, you determined that some of the runes were um, wards and some of them had this draconic inscription. And so you stopped to ponder that riddle before you went further. And I believe that is where we left off. You all should be, I believe, level 2. Is that correct? Everybody has their sheets set that way? Okay,
Yep.
perfect. Awesome. The room is yours.
Go through the door.
I mean, I think it's more complicated than that.
I don't like complication. Do you want my stick?
I think it might be more complicated than even your stick.
My aunt told me there's nothing more complicated than a 10-foot pole.
We'll have to have a conversation about your family issues later. So like, your raven there. What does he keep saying?
He seems to like the phrase "kneel and know thy place."
Okay.
So
Um,
let's try kneeling in front of the door. Maybe that's a clue.
we can do that, but I think we maybe need to. I think I get the feeling that there's more to it. Like this whole puzzle is very very complex.
I forget.
Yeah.
You read that out to us last time, right?
Mm-hmm. I can read it to you again, though. It says, "Where one is blind, one shall fall. Where one sees, another. Opened eyes turn blue, while a blind may lead another."
So thinking about this realistically, he's telling us to kneel and know their place. Like to me, that may be referencing the one shall fall. Like we have to fall to our knees here.
Mm-hmm.
And in that same sentence, it also says where one is blind. So maybe we need to, I don't know, if we need to blindfold ourselves, if we just need to close our eyes. Like I don't know if we do like magical darkness here. Like
Just turn off all the light in the room.
we could do that.
Yeah.
But for those that can see in the dark, I would still recommend like closing your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
the whole opened eyes turn blue. That scared me because blue around here is enchanted. So if your eyes are open, they might get enchanted.
Sounds fantastic.
You might get like physically blinded. You might lose your eye. I don't know. So my thought is we just like fall to our knees and close our eyes here and see what happens. Because what worse could happen if we all just kneel and close our eyes?
We get attacked by a whole slew of goblins and we end up dead on the doorstep.
We can at least hear.
That's true.
We will hear the goblins coming.
Not if they're sneaky.
Fair. Also fair.
In theory, we could.
Cornelius, you can be responsible for listening for goblins.
I'm on it. I would like to make a listening check while I close my eyes.
Okay.
If I'm told to do something, I'm gonna do it to the best of my abilities. So
Yeah.
Bring on the listening.
Not saying that everybody's kneeling or closing their eyes, but you could go ahead and make a perception check just in case you do need to hear something while your eyes are closed.
Early listening, I like it.
Yeah.
Early listening. Air perception. Oop, I did it twice.
Oof.
I had 8.
That makes sense.
I don't hear any goblins, guys.
I trust you, man. And I'm just gonna. I mean, at this point, I'm just gonna. Oh, go ahead. You were gonna say something, my friend?
I think we're good.
Oh, sorry. I saw Odd raising his hand, and I thought you needed something.
No, I'm just kind of. I'm doing it.
Thinking process. This is how you
He's
think.
good. Head
Yeah.
If you need to count to a certain number, sometimes if one takes off their shoes, they may find themselves being able to count higher.
It's
10
puzzling.
extra digits.
Quick question. What could you describe the door to us? Again?
Yes.
Like the appearance of the area that we're in, right?
Mm-hmm. You are in a narrow hallway about 10 foot wide. There's a set of double doors. They are white, and they have and kind of glowing. And through this white glow, you can see inscribed on the door a host of runes that like pepper the face of it.
And I assume that they're glowing blue, like previously.
Like a pale, yeah. These runes are a little bit like a pale blue, so the room is somewhat awash in the light, the white and the blue light emanating off this set of doors.
But you did indicate that these are stronger runes than you've seen.
Yes. You at this point have unlocked a host of arcanely sealed doors in this dungeon, and you can ascertain that these have the most powerful wards yet.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm just gonna lead by example and do it.
Okay.
Well then.
And you guys don't have to do anything, but I figure it can't hurt to try, right?
Yeah.
I'm
when
on
you kneel
board
down,
as well.
yeah, when you kneel down, I'll follow suit, and I will close my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I already said
Same.
I'm kneeling and listening, so.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. How does Ode feel about this? Is he stepping back and watching, or is he gonna?
Yeah. I'll step. I'm gonna stay back and observe in case something goes wrong or they get, or something happens. I can try to pull them out or do something.
Okay.
Good thought. The goblins are probably still coming.
Yeah.
Are you watching? Are you happy with kind of your placement currently on the map, Ode?
I guess so. Because the door is still like north of them that were
Yep.
in question, right? Okay.
That's correct. Yeah. Okay.
I would go straight up to the door. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Oh, you're fine.
insinuate that I would be back away from it. Like, I would go right up to it and kneel.
Okay.
With my eyes closed, of course.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Clara, do you want to be in that same room with them?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
gonna go. I don't want to be right up on the door though.
Okay. Like right there?
Yeah, I'm fine with where I'm at there.
Perfect. Okay. So what Ode sees is as they kneel there, um, he sees a wave of blue light, kind of like a tendril, lick out from the door and from the set of double doors there. And he sees them momentarily bathed in a like kind of encapsulated in this glow. And then the set of double doors in front of you closes.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Well, time to find a new party.
It's just you and your raven in the hallway?
Yeah.
Oh, he's dead.
So we'll get back to them in a minute, but for the moment, Ode, you and your raven in the hallway.
Okay. I guess first things first, I'll inspect the door to see if it is. Did I hear like a locking mechanism or anything like that, or did it just close?
No, this one just closed. If I recall, this one didn't have a lock on it. I'm double checking here, but I'm 99% sure. You're good.
All right. Um.
Yeah, no lock.
Okay, good. So I know at least they're not locked in there and trapped. And to the south there on the map, there was like another area with like a lever and stuff in it, right? Just so I can remember where we're at here.
Mm-hmm. If you go straight
Okay.
south, yep, absolutely.
Okay, I will. I didn't hear anything to the south, obviously, right?
No,
Like
no.
okay. All that happened was the doors closed. Okay. Um. Do I see any like of the light or anything coming from around the door, the bottom or the top or like that?
No, it's a pretty tight seal, pretty well made. Um, doesn't give any indication. You're welcome to like press your ear to the door if you want to, or go over there and listen if you just want to see if there's any sound coming through.
Yeah, I'll listen and yeah, let's do that. Yeah, that
Okay,
sounds like a good idea.
just go ahead and make me a perception check.
Here we go. Uh, why is there two?
You might have
Sure.
double clicked.
Oh, I guess I rolled a 9 then.
Okay.
I hear a door.
Yeah, you push your ear to the door, and whether the stone is thick or whether you're just having a hard time hearing anything, you don't detect any sound coming from the other side.
All right. I guess I will cautiously push it open
Mm-hmm. Now you,
because I don't remember where anyone was standing, and I'd really hate to push this heavy door hard and like knock some of the smaller people over.
yep. Okay. So when you push the door open, see, roll 20 is just going to disagree with anything we do in the evenings. I've determined, but door open, the room is as you left it, except that none of your are in it.
No.
I'm gonna kind of scratch my chin, look at my bird friend, and just go, well, I guess that's what we're supposed to do.
You
I mean,
done messed up.
we just had this, so let's see what happens.
Okay. Your bird kind of like hops onto your shoulder again, kind of pops its head looking around the room, but it seems nonchalant about all of this.
Okay, hold on, just to be kind of a smartass, I want to ask him. So is this the place I'm supposed to kneel and know or something? Something along those lines. It was funnier in my head.
Roll an animal handling check.
This is gonna be the one time I roll a natural 20.
That'd be
It's
awesome.
the most useless roll ever. Oh,
3.
2.
As you try to wisecrack this bird, it kind of like blinks once slowly at you, and then it kind of shuffles on your shoulder to where its back is turned towards your face.
I'm just going to feel bad and kneel and close my eyes.
Okay.
I get the point, bird.
So back to the other 4 of you. As you all kneel, close your eyes, you do feel like the air around you grow a little bit warmer by just the slightest of few degrees, and you feel this air current impact your front and kind of swirl around you momentarily. And you feel the floor underneath your feet disappear.
Mhm.
Everybody, unless you say otherwise, I'm assuming that you just kind of stay as is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll brace for an impact.
Okay, sure. Kind of tense up, get ready. Um,
Clutch my holy symbol.
yeah. So you all feel yourselves kind of suspended in air, and you feel this air current pass around you. You get the sensation that you are moving, but in what direction and how far, both of those things are unknowns. You can see, like through your eyelids, you can see that whatever you're passing through has variations in light and dark, and you can kind of, your eyelids kind of reveal light and then reveal darkness, and then finally, after maybe 10 seconds, which feels much longer than that, you feel your knees and your feet impact hard, cold surface. And your eyes indicate, or that your eyelids indicate, that you are in a lit area of some sort.
I would probably be on my back or my belly, because in about 5 seconds then I'd start doing like spins.
Absolutely. Okay. Yep.
So I'd probably be on some sort of weird, I'd probably be sprawled out on my back. Maybe the wind is knocked out of me, I'm not sure.
Okay. You feel, yeah, if you're sprawled out, you feel like this marble or stone polished floor, cold to the touch, not uneven or natural, but 100% smooth on your fingertips.
Like slippery or just smooth?
Just very smooth. There's trace friction, certainly.
Okay.
Like, holy shit, guys, we done it.
I'm gonna stand up and look around and just kind of see what we see.
Open your eyes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be like, how do we've lost Ode?
Yeah, where's Ode?
Not here yet.
Stupid bird, I swear.
Ode, you, as it's been but a few moments, but you feel the same sensation as you float through space. And then you are deposited in the same area. You probably, if they haven't moved yet, which it doesn't seem like they would have in that short amount of time, you are deposited into contact with your companions.
Oh,
And
there he is.
yeah. And as you all open your eyes and your raven starts hopping across all your forms as you rise up, you behold a pristine temple, forgotten to time, but maintained by consecration. And as your feet left the darkened vegetation filled halls of the outer crypt, they now stand on cold marble, bone white. Um, and as you look down, you see that these marble tiles illuminate on contact with your feet, and the light kind of expands outward to fill the space. You see vaulted ceilings, complete with wondrous murals of deities bestowing favor and blessings onto their mortal followers. Um, these murals ensconce the entirety of the room and adorn every square inch of the space. Here and there throughout the room, um, you can also begin to see um, manifesting ethereal presences, as if your entry has not gone unnoticed by whatever inhabits these halls. And I'm going to transfer you guys to a new map.
I don't like that. I do not like the fact that there's things that are taking notice of us.
Well,
Though we've done it, though we found the crypt. It's time to go back.
yep, you're good. Just gotta find the bones and you're all good.
Get them bones.
There's just like millions of bones in here, and just gotta
Yes.
somehow discern which ones are the right ones.
It's the Harry Potter keys floating in that one room in the first book.
Yeah.
It's all the keys in the ceiling.
Of all the different banners and artwork, are there any that we recognize?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Like any dwarven gods depicted is what I'm really
Ooh.
looking for.
Mm-hmm. In this room, roll me just because of the sheer number. Go ahead and um, roll me a perception check.
Ooh.
Ooh, 20. So yeah, you can tell that as you're kind of surveying the space, there are a number of dwarven deities represented here. This is a dwarven shrine. Um, Looks like, as you kind of being a cleric, you would have some knowledge of this space,
Mhm.
but you can tell that like the dwarven deities are interspersed with human deities and elven deities, and maybe in, um, some like draconic ones and things of that nature.
Okay.
Um, and all of them are giving some sort of blessing or favor or to what is obviously a follower. One throughout the adventure.
Okay.
You see your characters now on a new map.
Mm-hmm.
I might just have connection issues.
Okay.
I'm still seeing the top corner.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I see too. It's the new map from the doorway area.
No, I'm not in a doorway area. I'm in the top upper right hand corner.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Sorry, I was
Oh.
saying a new map for what we started the day on.
Hang tight. There. Now see what you can see.
Yes.
Oh, yep.
There we go.
That should be.
And you said the floor is just lighting up?
Yep.
When you step on it, though.
Yep. It's like a DDR machine.
Oh no.
I was thinking Smooth Criminal.
Okay. Well, there you go. Same thing. And you all are in this narrow hallway, like it showcases there before it spreads out. And let me change the map or show the map to people at home real quick. There we go. And those viewers may notice that they can see my view, and the players are more limited in what they can see sometimes. So the main things that you should take away from this is that it has way more ornamentation than what you've been in before. It's way more pristine, and whereas the other looked more like a crypt, this 100% feels like a temple.
I want to move forward into the room.
Okay. You guys are welcome to move your minis. I'll go ahead and describe what you're seeing. You can see probably the things of main note would be the sheer amount of doors all over this area. There's every direction, and there's not any mode of symmetry to it. The oddest thing is just to your north. You see, yeah, this ray rises about 2 feet up, and there's like curtains hanging from it, silk curtains.
Curtain.
So can't ping overlay.
I would like to pull my stick out of my bag and start tapping around and seeing if this floor is anything more than just like a light up floor.
Okay. It's written with it. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Yes, sir. Cornelius Ember Keg, investigation, one of my good ones. Not terrible, 15.
Okay. So you tap. It doesn't feel anything other than stone.
When I push with my stick, does it light up, or only when I stand on it?
Yeah, when any pressure is applied, it lights up.
And is it the same color throughout wherever we walk?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Is there anything on the raised platform?
You said it's a curtain. Is the curtain like completely surrounding it?
Yeah, you see those 4 around the star. You see those 4 like L-shaped pieces. Those are the curtains, and just like very thin. Is what they look like, just kind of obscuring. And that star is a very, very large silver basin that sits on like a small, low pedestal.
I want to approach the basin and see if there's anything inside, any liquid or.
Okay. Close, you can start to pick out shimmering blue scales of some creature that.
Right, I'm gonna back up a little. And
Yeah, that's not sketchy at all.
I'm gonna cast Detect Good and Evil.
Good and evil allows you to know the whereabouts of any celestials, fae, fiends, or undead. Is that right?
Celestial Elemental, Fae, Fiend, or Undead.
Okay. Yes, in areas of consecration.
We do know that this place is consecrated, right? That's what you said to us.
Yes, the entire area around you has some feeling of holy consecration. Want to make sure. And then is it a visual based spell?
It looks
pulling up
more
here.
like a sense.
It can penetrate barriers.
Okay. Lovely. So there. This may be more than what you bargained for information-wise, so I'm compiling. Stand by.
Get your pencils out.
Yes, get your pencils out.
Compiling.
Get ready.
Compiling.
Yes.
Compiling.
Oh my gosh. 50 feet, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 feet. Okay, that makes my life a whole lot easier. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay. So, in 30 feet, let's check. Oh, awesome. We'll have to refresh in a minute. Roll20 has decided to crash. Within 30 feet, you detect none of those presences other than just the area being consecrated.
Okay.
60 feet would have been a different story.
And tell us that, DM.
That's a story for a different time.
Something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd pop up there and look inside.
Okay. As you move towards that basin, you get up to the feet. You can see the scaled form slide into the basin as if the thing is moving. And then sure enough, it unspools itself and you see this serpent head rise up from the basin and you see like water cascading down its form, dripping onto the floor as it raises itself out of whatever was kept in this.
Oh no.
Cornelius, poke it with your stick.
I'm gonna take my short little legs.
Don't
and
do
go,
that.
And I'm gonna skitter like a cartoon. As soon as someone says don't do that, I'm gonna be as I come to a stop. And I grab my stick. I have it out like Donatello or something across my chest. Like yes or no.
Bow staff now.
Anything? Does it seem to be doing anything?
So he raises up. I'm hamstrung by Roll20. Their internet shutting down right now, but you guys can still hear, so I think we're all good. In common, you hear it say, "Ah, guests. How invigorating." It kind of slides. It kind of moves its head over the basin, and it is quite large. Come on now, load up. You see that it is
like large?
it is large size. Like as it raises itself and then like kind of arcs its body over the lip of the basin and lands on the stone and then starts to unspool itself from the basin and then just kind of encircles around. You could tell that its body's probably a good at least 15 feet long, and it would take up a large space.
So is it like all Mary Poppins in there?
Oh, the basin's pretty large. You think it could have probably held this sucker. Um,
Okay.
if it can compacted itself down, but once it's kind of expanded out and given itself some breathing room.
So I would just say something of the sort.
She says, "Come on up. Show me yourselves. Let's get this process underway."
What? I mean, I know that it's sort of a curled up, blue, scaly thing.
Mm-hmm.
What other distinguishing features does it have?
So, it looks like a snake, very much, but it has the features of a humanoid, almost elven face to it.
Okay.
Looks feminine in nature. Um, though the age of it would if you were to put this face on an elf, it would be an ancient elf. Its, its cheeks its cheekbones are very pronounced, and the flesh underneath its eyes sags a bit.
How big is the snake body?
It's about 15 feet long, large size.
Jesus.
Yeah. There we go.
Well,
Roll 20
okay.
is working. So there we go. Lovely.
That is something, guys. I am going to put my stick away, I guess. And slowly approach.
I am going to take notice of what's going on and excitedly approach.
Do I recognize what this creature is?
You are welcome to make a. I would let either a history or a religion check on this sucker.
Well, if he does a history check, can I do a religion check?
Sure, absolutely.
Awesome.
There you go.
Nice.
Whew. Yeah, both of you are very familiar with this creature. Clara, you know that this is a Naga. Felix, you know that as well. Um, it appears to be, as best you can tell, a guardian Naga, which means that it should be a goodly creature, but typically what that means for Nagas is that they set themselves to defend a holy place, and not necessarily that they are completely benevolent. Um, let's see. So for you, that would be with a 20. Trying to think of anything else that would be pertinent for Clara to know. You know that they are powerful spellcasters,
Mm-hmm.
and that they are the natural enemy of the Yuan Ti. Those would be things that you would probably know. Felix, you would know largely the same information. Maybe perhaps your knowledge would turn to a more like biological nature, and you might know that they are rumored to not only um, cast spells, but their bite is said to have a deadly venom.
Okay.
That thing's gonna attack you guys. You gotta step back.
I'm gonna attempt to talk to it. Great creature, what is it that you're expecting? You said that we can start. What are we starting?
I was led to believe that there was a process that all would go through who entered. But as you seem unaware of such a process, perhaps I was uninformed, or perhaps you are not a typical inhabitor of this
we're a
place.
typical inhabitor. We're supposed to be here.
We come from the command of the king. We're here on a mission he has sent us.
Which king?
Crap, what's his name? I don't have my notes.
We would all know his name, right?
Yeah.
Lucian's the current ruler, right?
Lucian is the current
Yeah,
ruler.
King Lucian.
Son of the entombed king.
Yes,
Yeah.
Adrastus. She starts to slither out and starts to unspool from the basin, and obviously with our lovely circle tokens we can't depict a snake very easily, but she starts to wind kind of around Clara, like trying to catch her from all angles. Not constricting, but like
He's taking me to the tomb, right?
unspooling, yes. And she says, tell me about this King Lucian, or his father Adrastus. Are they... What business do they have with this temple?
I'm gonna look her. It's a her, right?
It looks to be.
Okay, I'm gonna look it in the eyes and say, "This is the tomb of the Father, and the Son has sent us to preserve. There's something coming upon this temple that could jeopardize the king's remains. We're here to salvage that. We're here to serve the kingdom."
It's interesting that you call yourselves servants and in the same breath describe desecration.
We are here to prevent desecration. We have the same mission as you, I would imagine.
I doubt that, but that doesn't mean that our missions conflict. And she kind of starts to figure eight and starts to wind now around Felix to...
Cornelius is going to take a step back with that.
Okay. She says, you mention, and her head kind of passes right next to Felix's now. And she says, you mention avoiding desecration. What's the coming danger that you speak of?
Question, Zach.
Yes.
Do I with my history check, do I know like the history of Nagas? Like, would I know like what languages they speak?
Yep. They traditionally speak Common and Celestial, though they can know a wide array, but those are the two that most often.
Then would when she said that, and like knowing she's like circling me, like I would probably just start rambling in Celestial, like telling the story of the acid and overtaking the king's tomb and trying to protect the remains of the king.
She responds to you in Celestial. I'm not too concerned by acid. Not in these walls. I'm sure you had an eventful passage getting here yourselves. And I don't see acid making its way through that without some sort of arcane assistance.
Okay, guys, we're good here. It's time to go back.
So, you're after the remains of this king. I would assume that those remains will be further in. They are certainly not within the temple.
Um,
Yeah.
Is there any guidance that you could provide to get us where we are wanting to go?
She kind of peels back and starts to sift you all, and she says, I could. I'm not altogether sure of... I have some understanding of your group's intentions, but I'm not sure that I am certain of your individual intentions at the moment. Sometimes those two things don't synchronize. And I'm loath to just pass on information that might expedite your travel if I'm not altogether certain that each one of you only has the mission at heart.
I give you my word that if you help us, give us some direction on what we're seeking, that we will leave with that mission accomplished.
Has anyone said the word Naga? Or is it just the two that have learned about this?
Just the two.
Then I would come up, and I would like to use persuasion. I'm going to sneak up just a little bit closer.
Stand next to Ode.
And I am going to... Ode might be a little too close for me. I'm
yeah,
gonna
like
kneel.
standing next to them with all this happening. So
yeah, I'm gonna kneel down onto one knee, and I will say, "Oh, great snake lady, we are here for the common cause. We are here to do right. We are here as adventurers to save the kingdom." And I would like to persuade her into our
party.
Our party. Yes, into our intentions.
Okay, roll me a persuasion check.
I am going to... That is good. So it's a 22.
22?
Oh, sorry. It's already has the...
Yeah, there you
so
go.
I will go ahead and change it to a 19 before...
Get that extra boost.
Yes, so I will get it to a 23 with my portent.
Okay.
So, as I was sitting back there, I closed my eyes for a minute because I was a little nervous about the snake lady. And my mother came to me that everything was going to be okay, that these are goodly creatures. And I saw through time a little bit. And she told me to persuade it. So that's what I have done.
She looks down at you You know, again, this daze is like 10 feet up, so she's towering over you at the
Mhm.
moment.
I'm only 3 feet tall, so or
Yeah.
4 feet. I'm a dwarf. 3 feet tall is probably a little short, but I'm probably like 4 feet tall.
Okay. She raises up half her length in the air, so now her head is nearly 20 feet above you. And then she like tips her body forward and her form cascades down those steps, propelling it at a reasonable speed, and she slides between Cornelius and Ode.
We're all dead.
And she says, "You seem well enough, but I'm still not confident in your aspirations. I know your end task. I understand that. You are here to save a kingdom. You're here to protect these relics, and at its heart, you're certainly here for coin in addition. None of those are corrupt aspirations. But sometimes when presented with the choice of corruption, true colors reveal themselves." She motions with her head and um, towards the room to the west. There doesn't just a doorway with no door. And as she kind of motions that way, she speeds on to Aelin. And as she gets close to Aelin, she says, "I've taken it upon myself to collect what relics might be salvaged from the rabble elsewhere in the temple. It's stored in the side chamber of the goddesses. Consider it a test that you know where such a hoard is kept, and not only that, consider the second part of this test your behavior in this temple itself. There are numerous other individuals throughout this temple, each one perhaps retaining relics, and each one perhaps using those relics to unscrupulous ends. Uh, your interactions with those individuals and your choice decisions with those relics that they themselves possess tell me more about your individual uh, morality than your words can. And should you pass through those individuals and retain your noble cause and your noble intent, then I would have no choice or no reason to doubt you further."
And
Perhaps
I rub my chin for a minute. I'm like, are you asking us to bring you artifacts?
couldn't hurt. That would certainly inform my decision.
What artifacts do you seek?
Oh, well, she doesn't point because she can't point. I pointed. I'm like, no, she can't do that.
Point with her tongue.
Yeah. Her tongue flicks out. No.
I
Uh,
know.
she again jerks her head. She says, "Go have a look for yourself. See what sort of things keep my interest, see what sort of things I wish to preserve, and if you find others and you bring them, you will certainly have my blessing.
Uh, I see no reason to disagree. We will part ways, and if we're able to acquire these artifacts on your behalf, then we'll see you again.
Oh, I'm sure we will see each other. It's not a large temple after all, and you will have to see me again before you leave it, so.
Oh no. That did sound ominous as hell.
That's
Thanks
where
a
her
lot.
bathtub is.
Just full of gems and everything. Just a bathtub full of gems and artifacts. She's just DuckTales, Scrooge McDucking it.
Woo!
She says, one other thing.
Yes.
Behind the basin there to the northeast, you will see a mist. And you guys can just see the tendrils of a mist coming out from
Great.
this area up here. And she says, the area within the mist is mine. Privately mine. So, that's any other area you're welcome to.
Isn't that where she pointed at her artifacts?
No, she pointed over here to the west. To the
Gotcha.
Yep.
To the hallway.
Yeah. She gosh, I keep holding down my mouse on the overlay and expecting it to ping, and I'm like, roll 20, I hate you. No, this area over here is where she's telling you not to go. And this area over here is where she told you you're welcome to go and survey her relics.
So what's in there?
Let's go look.
Ode, you have a pretty good view from where you are, and the others can definitely move to see.
Oh no, I was asking about the area she told us not to go.
Oh, you're asking her. You're asking her.
I was asking her. I'm just what's in there.
My personal belongings, things that I brought with me when I first entered this space, and things that I wish to keep private now that I'm in it.
That's fair. Time to move.
Snake toys.
Okay.
Big snake lady.
She's not scary.
She could eat us in one bite.
Yeah, she's already got you guys wrapped up. Oh,
Wrapped
she has us
around her
wrapped up
little tail.
Yes. She'll start to like move back to the basin, and you see she kind of a couple things actually that I neglected. Well, one thing I neglected to mention is as you guys are close now, Felix, Ode, and Clara can definitely tell that these curtains are not silk. In fact, Clara, you as a dwarf would grow very interested in them. They are mithril.
It's fancy.
Yes.
Dang, the curtains are worth a lot.
Yank him down.
Yeah, you just
Turn it into a cloak.
yeah. It would definitely make you a handful of cloaks. She kind of like winds herself up one of the poles that suspends these curtains, and then she dips her tail back into the basin and starts to feed herself into it with the last thing that kind of flips over the lid, being her head. And then she kind of rests her head there on the basin lid. Tongue flicks out. And she just watches anything that you do from there.
Well, I am not so unwise as to touch the curtains. I want to go look over in the hall.
Okay. Ode, you've been kind of chilling out there. Anything that you're itching to do?
There was, but I forgot.
No problem. So, those of you that stick your head in this hall, you can see those black squares on the map are very tall statues, like 20-foot tall. Uh, like a pedestal, and then a person, a statue of an individual standing on top of it. Um,
Like a giant snake lady tall?
um, so the pedestals are like any range in height from like 6 feet to 10 feet, and then the uh, character standing on top of them are um, slightly larger than life size. And you can see that this whole area, not to where you can't walk into it, certainly, but that this area has certainly become the horde of this Naga, and hundreds, if not thousands, of items, most of them small, items of beauty, wonder, power, are housed here at the feet of these pedestals, and each pedestal that you can see depicts a female individual.
Clara, it's the it's the showboating of the tall races that put statues up like this on 6 foot pedestals. Are you kidding me?
You know, you as you mentioned tall races, you do notice that one of the pedestals is 10 foot tall. You're taller than the others, and on top of it, uh, is like carved into this pedestal a pile of gems. Not a true pile, but just representative. And standing on top of those gems looks to be a halfling woman.
Which the artists were of the tall folk. Can't just put something on the ground. It would still be taller than us. But that being said, I think it's ridiculous they have to put them on these 10 foot pedestals. I can barely look up to the footing of these statues.
So that one's the tallest one's a halfling. What are the
Mm-hmm. So the one nearest you there, furthest south, shows the likeness of a looks to be a human woman wrapped in vines, so that only the outline of her figure is visible, aside from her head, and her mouth is open, and like a tongue that it's certainly a tongue, but it's kind of like a flower growing on it, so that it almost looks like a vine as well sits on it. Then there's the halfling one north of that. And then at the very top left corner, there is a woman whose face looks unfinished and smooth to tell um, what she might be. There's very few characteristics. And she's leaning on a heavy, massive maul as if injured. Um, and she's wearing the garment, not like nobility or armor, but the garment. You can tell that the room curves to the right, but you're not sure if there's more.
Alright, I want to move forward and look around the corner.
Okay. So yeah, you see two more. Um, you see a goddess whose face is riddled with eyes, and as her hands are kind of outspread to either side, you see that there's an eye uh, fitted in one of her palms.
Hmm.
And she's
It's
wearing
not creepy at all.
chainmail. Yeah, she's wearing chainmail and armor, and her legs in cloven hooves. And then the last one, very far right, is a matronly woman with a harsh face and wild hair. In one hand is a sickle, and in the other hand is a shepherd's crook. And you recognize this individual, Clara.
Uh-huh.
It is a human deity, but this is Zarya, the goddess of life.
Ooh.
You would have your own dwarven interpretation of this woman, but this is the human translation. And all of these pedestals have different types of objects around their base, as if offerings.
Anything cool?
Yes, no. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. Let's see. So around, we'll just go back to the beginning one, the woman with the vines. Um, there is all sorts of small bottles. Quickly looking, you can tell that maybe there's either perfume, potions, or some sort of liquid in each of these bottles around her. Um, and then you also see that there is like small piles of incense that have been accumulated here. The halfling has gold, silver, and precious stones um, piled there. The goddess that doesn't have a face or is unfinished does not have anything. So that's the one that doesn't have any. That one does not have any object on her. Um, the one with all the eyes are all sorts of scrolls. Some are in scroll tubes, some are laying out, and uh, you can immediately tell that the scrolls are from numerous origins. Some probably draconic, others elvish, fiendish, celestial. All of the last one, Zarya's, you see a collection of like bowls, basins, bottles, different containers, um, each with a clear liquid inside of them around her pedestal.
Nice.
Um,
The last statue, I'm gonna go all the way around and go close to it.
Mm-hmm.
Vibe.
100%. 100%.
Because like I follow Baronar True Silver as far as who, like my whole.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can't help. I feel compelled to go close
Mm-hmm.
and see if there's anything that would assist me or help me help my party more.
Um, let's see. Make an investigation check for me as you're over there.
Okay.
Roll 20 still down. So just holler at me when you get
A 10.
a 10.
Sorry.
Okay. With a 10, nothing out of the ordinary. It's a well carved marble statue. Um, but there's nothing important carved into it or anything like that. You're certain of who it is now. It's 100% this Zarya individual. And also, you don't see any of these containers. Nothing of them holds anything other than the clear liquid.
Alright, I'm just gonna hang out here for a minute while my party looks around as well.
Okay.
looking
Hey.
over the. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Taylor.
I'm sorry. Just looking over the. You said piles of scrolls, and obviously that's gonna pick my interest.
Mm-hmm.
You said there are some written in Celestial, some written in Draconic. I read both of those. I read a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But do I see anything interesting?
Yes. Most of what you see is, as you kind of sort through it, a lot of what you see is prayers or like um, uh, it would be like the religious stories tied to this goddess, which you know from perusing. You see um, the name Volkyrie.
Valkyrie, do I know that name?
Let's see. Roll me a religion check.
Sorry.
You all right?
7.
7.
A natural 1.
Ooh, okay, nope. That name is not familiar to you, which is odd, but every once in a while you come across a deity that you haven't come across before, and this one's odd enough. The other thing that you notice is that um, a good number of these are spell scrolls. You see all sorts of spells notated. Just in a cursory glance, you can tell that they are probably a host of spells to be found here.
Oh.
Yeah, this is. I wouldn't. I guess I wouldn't know about it yet. While people are looking around, since we can't touch any of this treasure, we can't take any of this treasure. I'm gonna our way and
Okay. Are you ritual casting that?
I am.
Okay, so it's going to take an hour. Is that right?
11 minutes.
Oh, okay, no problem. I'm 10 or
Yeah,
whatever.
but 10 plus or yeah, I guess 10 plus a
10
second.
minutes. Okay, no problem. So you're gonna do that. Aelin and Ode, what are the two of you doing?
I'm definitely interested in the vials around the first statue.
Okay.
Maybe to discern what may be within.
Okay. So roll me on investigation check there.
11.
11. There is certainly a variety. There are certainly, as you're careful, are you interacting with them at all, or just kind of like as close as you can?
Yeah, as close as I can without contact.
Okay. It's hard to notate much, but you can tell that there are definitely a variety of liquids because there's different colors and different consistencies through some of these glass vials. Um, but one thing that you're certain of um, is that you can, well, as a chemist, you can kind of tell that some of these have the same coloration as some potions that you have seen on the shelves of other individuals. So there's definitely some magical objects here.
Okay.
Nothing like super catches your eye from that with an 11, but you can definitely tell that there's some magical objects or some magical liquids mixed in with the more base.
Okay.
And Ode.
I would imagine my character at this point, like I said, he as soon as like something was going on over there and he could see what was going on, he rushed over excitedly because he doesn't know anything about Naga other than he's read stories that like heroes would encounter Nagas and stuff like that. You know, when he was studying with the knights, and so immediately comes to mind is this story of some generic hero who had to undergo the Naga's test to advance and all that. So he's just kind of checking out the Naga, and maybe pestering it with a few questions, things like that.
Sure, what sort of questions would Ode wish to ask?
Um, first, first and foremost, he which is his thing. He always introduces himself and asks if he could have their name.
Certainly, you are a pleasant sort. You have a fey air about you, like one who spends their days next to babbling brooks and whispering leaves.
How does she know that?
It's almost like
I'm. Go ahead.
uh, she says, I come from areas not dissimilar. My name is Hydrangea. What's your name?
I am out. The Fey Knight. I kind of talk about a little bit about where I'm from, about how I lived in these I lived the first half of my life in the woods with my adoptive Fey mother and the other sprites and pixies that lived in the area.
Hmm. It's an odd combination to be both Fey and Knight, and it's odder still to lay claim to both. What
Yes,
does this?
I see myself as a knight of the world.
Well, Knight of the World, what brings you here? I get the sense off you that you're not perhaps here with certain motivations.
I'm gonna kind of like cock my head, kind of trying to wrap my head around that one. Like, I don't, because I don't really understand what it means.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna say, well, I am here to do good, but I guess I guess truly, I'm here to try to become stronger? Question
Hmm.
mark.
Hmm.
Because he kind of gives the impression that he hasn't really thought about it, but now that he's forced to think about it, he realizes, yeah, he's here to do good, but he also wants to become a great knight and hero. So so maybe it's a little bit of both, not just altruism per se, but to advance.
You know, Fey Knight, Aud, good is a fickle idea. You can certainly be doing good coming down here and reclaiming bones, and I can be doing good by stopping you.
Hmm.
Wrong.
I suppose that checks out. I mean, I guess I did read something along those lines where good and evil are often the two sides of the same coin.
Well, and often good can be on both sides of the coin. It's,
I suppose that that shoot, how did it go? Something like if both both sides of a war are just, then who are the unjust, or something along those.
probably
kind of
who.
nod my head like
Yeah.
yeah, I'm in deep thought. Yeah, I've said something profound.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
impressed
She
with
says.
myself.
She says. I think that you will have a better understanding of constituting good and constituting evil and your own part in betwixt before you leave this temple.
Ominous.
Not meant to be. This can be a
Hmm.
place of learning if one wants to learn.
I'm going to kind of perk up at that idea because I've spent the last 10 years of my life per se partially in scholarly pursuit. I say scholarly pursuit, but it was more like getting excited reading like legends and stories of heroic deeds.
She says, do you want to do, at least for here in this temple, something that would be considered good to both of our causes?
Absolutely, no hesitation there.
Yeah.
Just immediately perks up, bright-eyed, and is like, it takes the stance of like, I'm ready to accept the quest.
She
The party.
says, she says, once upon a time, some years ago, I had in my possession a, what's the word? Not a child, but an egg. Such a crass name for something I hold so dearly, but it's not a. There's no other word for it, I suppose. Um, Someone in this temple took it, and I spent quite a bit of time seeking it out. More time than I cared to admit, but I had other obligations, and those pulled me in other directions. And at this point, I have resolved myself to accepting its current fate. But if you were able to ascertain its whereabouts, procure it, and bring it back to me, not only would you help me, which I consider a good, but you would also help yourself, which you consider a good.
Checks out.
So the only good that you would have to contend with is whoever possesses it now.
Wait. I just realized something. There are others here too.
Oh, there is a host of others. You are in the one quiet place in this entire establishment, and it is only quiet because I make sure that it is. Everywhere else, they have their squabbles and their miniaturized wars and their chaos. Only in this small area, my domain, is it peaceful. I mean, I could tell you, I won't, but I could tell you what you might see in the rest of this area. But I think that that's part of that learning experience that we discussed moments ago. And what I told you would have little bearing on your approach to each one of them, other than to perhaps confuse you before your time. But we
I'm
are not
gonna
alone.
nod like I understand, but I don't understand. And then I'm gonna say, okay, so can you describe this egg to me, as you called it?
Um, yes, it is of the same coloration as myself, and it is roughly the same size as your upper torso.
That's a big egg.
I'm a big girl.
You see Cornelius say that from like 50 feet away.
That should make it easier to find, at least.
Oh,
You can't hide an egg that size.
Yeah, it's harder to hide it.
there's plenty of recesses in here that I cannot fit. It's probably easily enough found if you gain access to some of those smaller sections. Or perhaps it's been moved. It's been years after all. It could be out in the open for all I know.
And there isn't any chance that it's already hatched, is it? Has it?
Oh no, 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 no. It requires an exact warmth for an extended amount of time that it does not now possess.
Okay.
But
And you're certain that it hasn't left this temple?
no, I'm not certain. It's entirely possible that it is elsewhere.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I've already given you all plenty of other opportunities to curry my favor. This is just, I don't know. Perhaps it is your sprightly spirit that makes me think that perhaps I can entask you with this more personal engagement. And you would see it through regardless of anyone else's motivations, should you come across it.
Indeed, I will take this. I will take on this quest, not to curry favor, but it is such the rightly thing to do, as no mother should be torn away from her kid, from her. I'm gonna say, in this case,
Bond.
clutch.
Yeah.
As you know, because that's part of my backstory. Is I was torn away from my family.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of it kind of hits close to home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Knowing that she is looking for something from us,
Mm-hmm.
I would approach and I would just tell her, I saw in the offerings room several things
Mm.
that may help us to find your egg. Things that would make us stronger and more formidable. And if you allowed us to respectfully make use of some of those items on behalf of the goddesses that you offered them to, perhaps we could return your egg to you unharmed.
But see, here we have a dilemma, much like I was speaking to Aud here. Because, as you stated, they've already been offered. Now, I'm not saying that that which is offered cannot be rescinded, but certainly if I've offered it to a deity and then you revoke that offering for my own benefit I have a hard time knowing how that deity will accept that. So you're not necessarily just
What if,
negotiating with myself, but also with the one that you take from.
but what if we weren't? What if we weren't taking it from the deity as much as using it on behalf of the deity?
Are you consuming or are you engaging with?
Engaging with.
Oh, engage away. Deities care not for engagement. They care, well, who knows what they care about, but I will assume that they care about you um, reducing
Absconding.
the offering. Yes.
If the offering is used in such a way that brings greater glory to the deity, then is it not even a greater gift?
Roll a persuasion check, Felix.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and blow my inspiration on this.
Oh, hardly blowing, unless you roll about poorly.
Double ones.
Yes.
17.
17.
I will make it a 14.
What?
Makes it a non-natural 20.
Okay, a non-natural 20. Okay.
I sit here and I hold my head, and I'm like, I think this is important. I think he's found something. And one of the great members of the Ebon Hawks comes in and says, "It's time, Demi." And I use my other portent for the day.
Okay. She says, that's an interesting thought. I suppose you would have to understand the... for mortals, we would say aspirations, but these are deities that we're talking about. The domains of these women to know whether your actions would approve of. But perhaps there's an argument to be made that an item offered is put to better use doing the will of that deity than sitting idly at its feet.
Zach, I hate to tell you this, but I'm more confused than ever.
Awesome.
He's done the right job.
No, that's not my job. My job is to make it interesting, not confusing.
I didn't mean it. I meant it's interesting, but my character doesn't know what to make of that. So you're doing your job correctly.
Okay. Well, what has piqued your interest?
Well, I believe that I'm very much a scholar.
Mm.
My entire life has been spent with my head in books, learning about others, about other creatures, about other cultures.
And so you wish to stick your head in more books?
Perhaps knowledge is always power.
Seems to be a running trend.
If you offered knowledge to one of these goddesses, she obviously values knowledge, correct?
Of a certain sort, absolutely. Yes. You refer to Valkyrie, the one with the eyes, I assume.
Yes, the one who sees all.
That's a good way of putting it.
Using knowledge on her behalf, would it not bring more glory to her?
It depends. She is an odd one, and I say that with the reverence that behooves one of her station. Have you seen a lighthouse before?
Yes.
She's that in God form. She's
The guiding one.
the watcher, the knower. So you're not wrong. You're not wrong saying that knowledge is of interest to her, but she likes having eyes where no one else has eyes. And she likes having her fingers on the pulse of the plains. And that's not meant to be a riddle, it's simply to mean that you're I don't want to say yes with simply that knowledge put to use is of use to her. Um, because I feel like she's a bit more complex than that, but I think you're on the right track.
Okay. And then the other one, the one that seemed to be where you had amassed a collection of potions.
Ah, Lamis, yes.
Lamis. Did I recognize the name Valkyrie?
Only Volkeri, only that you had read it on some of the pieces, but it didn't strike a note with you. You do recognize Lamis, goddess of the greenwood. She's like a druidic goddess.
Um, you have amassed potions there. Things that could perhaps be used in a way that would further her purposes.
Oh.
Or yours.
Or both. Again, there's a running trend there of good and good aligning. Lamis is much more easy to understand, at least in part. And now that you've kind of guided us down this road, perhaps I can carry it a bit further. Lamis is tied to the natural order. She has her will is that civilization should erode and that the primal should maintain. So I think that you could have my blessing in this area to interact with some of her offerings. Should your purpose and your intent be something that we could construe to be of that bent.
Very well. I think that could be. I think that could be. I think our purposes do align for the most part here. We want to maintain. We want to maintain the order of this place, the holiness of this place, while preserving the. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. The sanctity, but also accomplishing the things that we need to accomplish and the things that you need accomplished.
I love all of those thoughts. Again, if this is one of those avenues where we're trying to, in all of our minds, justify an angle that is of benefit to us. And as long as we maintain neutrality in these deliberations, I would imagine that perhaps we can come to a resolution that allows for the usage of some of those items.
Excellent. Yes. Thoughts, friends, on anything else in there that we may be able to use while maintaining the neutrality to further her purposes and ours.
I haven't had a good chance to take a look. I was under the impression that we were to not touch anything in there.
I didn't touch anything.
Fair. Has my familiar come at this
Oh,
point?
absolutely. Okay, so familiar casting. Let's do that, and then let's take a break. Would you do me the honor of rolling percentage dice?
Oh. That is how we're going to do this.
That
would
is
love
how.
to. Okay, the first one. It looks like I rolled a 69.
A 69. Of course you did. All right. What are you trying to summon?
I would be. Oh, there's the percentile. I was trying to figure out how to do the percentile roll in roll 20. I figured it out now.
Gotcha.
Would you like me to redo it, or would
No,
it
no,
be
no,
good?
no, no. You're fine.
Okay, so I would be trying to summon my my whiff.
Ah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So as you sit there and incantate for the 10 minutes,
I've pulled a small brazier out of my backpack,
mm-hmm.
and I'm putting some incense down in the brazier, and I'm sort of thinking over this open flame and giving snide and remarkable comments to people as they talk to hydrangea.
Okay. So as you do that, the familiar sight of in the middle of this brazier, like this thin tendril of what looks like silver thread rises up, starting from just a single mote and elongating until it is perhaps 10 or 12 inches wide or long and just a sliver wide. And you see, once it reaches the desired length, it starts to rotate until it makes one full rotation. And once it reaches that full rotation, you feel an air current pass through just briefly. And you feel that air kind of whip towards your face and then swirl around, catching your beard and kind of um, uh, shifting it in place. And then your beard subsides, and this air current uh, disappears with this thin piece of silver collapsing in on itself and then dropping back down into the brazier. And you feel this little gust of wind still kind of just wafting there around your ear, of twirling your hair into small curls. And you are successful.
Awesome. So I will sort of have it go check out the side room there while I start packing away my brazier.
Just because there's a million side rooms.
The one with all the statues.
Oh, okay. Absolutely.
Just sort of have it float back around and catch anything that I didn't really pay attention to enough.
Okay. Yeah, it can go have a look-see. I'm going to go ahead and drop you a... it's going to be an air elemental, but an elemental token. And we'll make that movable. So Thomas has summoned, or sorry, Cornelius has summoned a small air elemental familiar called a whiff.
Basically, a mote of air elemental.
Yes. And do you have a name for this individual?
I would probably call him Blustery.
Blustery. Okay. Okay, that should be movable
Yes.
now by you.
Yay, Blustery.
Cool. Awesome. Um, yeah, I think that's a good spot to take a couple-minute break. You guys have talked with the Naga Hydrangea. You've investigated the Room of the Five Goddesses, and you have summoned an elemental. So, we're gonna take a let's go ahead and take a 10-minute break. We'll come back at 11 Central, and we'll pick up there and continue to investigate the temple. We'll see you in a minute. And we're back. So, we have finished up with the Naga. We've summoned, and now we are. What do you guys want to do? So we have about an hour left in game here. I'm not saying that you guys have to make anything happen, but that's what time we have still to play with.
Can you clarify something for me? Like,
Sure.
she said a whole lot, and she kind of left me a little confused on whether it's cool if we go in there and use some of this stuff or not.
Yeah. So let me do it in Zach words instead of in her words. How about that?
There
Um,
you go.
so it's fine if you want to go in there and interact with things. She's considering it part of her test to you to see how you handle a little bit of slack on the leash, so to speak. Um, her when you asked her about using things, she said, "Well, basically, for her to be okay with it, she sees value in your suggestion that, if you could use it in a way that would appeal to the goddess, then that may be reasonable. But she's kind of wanting for you to have her blessing, you kind of need to include her in on that conversation or that whatever you resolve to do. Um, so you're welcome to go in and look around. You're welcome to sort through things. Um, but she hasn't given you permission, so to speak, to go grab something and use it or take it with you elsewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that means I would go in and at least look at what scrolls you said are around the base of this thing.
Okay. So what we're going to do there is we're going to roll on a chart. Excuse me. Can you roll? Just roll me 4d20s and give me those results, please.
19,
Nin-
16, 4, and 9.
19, 16, 4, and 9. Okay. So, with a. What? I'm just going to pull a book because that's what happens when things slow down. You have to go elsewhere. Okay. Nineteen, 16, 4, and 9.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The first thing that you find is a scroll of Find Familiar.
Yep.
The second thing you find, all of these will be scrolls, so I should just make it easy on you. The second scroll you find is one of Comprehend Languages. The third one is the spell Silent Images. And then the last, so Comprehend Languages, Silent Images, Find Familiar, and then the last one is Pyrotechnics. And there's probably more to be found, but you're having to sort through a lot of those prayer ones and whatnot. So you spent probably about 20 minutes sorting so far and trying to weed out religious tomes from spell scrolls.
Okay. So
Do you want to look at? Are you wanting to look at potions as well?
yeah, let's have a glance through the potions too. I don't know the potions as well, so I
I
would
was
probably
just,
call over. I was gonna say I would call
yeah.
you over.
Okay, so the benefit now that you're going to have, I'm going to have you roll an investigation check, but you are now interacting with the potions,
Hmm.
and so you're going to be able to ascertain a bit more about them. Um, Without casting identify, you may not know some higher level ones, but ones that you may have been familiar with to begin with, you should be able to suss those out. So just go ahead and make me an investigation roll.
Do I get advantage since Erica's helping me?
Yeah, you guys can do that.
22.
Okay, very nice. And then go ahead and Erica, why don't you go ahead and roll 40-20 for me?
Okay.
Ooh.
15, 5, 8, 6.
Okay. So you find probably the most interesting thing that you find is an oil of etherealness.
Mm.
Then you find a potion of animal friendship. You find a potion of climbing. And you find a potion of growth. Um, Hang tight. I may have. Let me double check. I think that's right, but I just want to double check. Oh, you also find a potion. I'll give you this one for free since I've looked at it wrong. You find a potion. This potion is not native to the Forgotten Realms, but it would be native for you guys. Um, it's a potion of greenish liquid, and how you're able to ascertain it for what it is that when you rotate it, it turns blue. Green turns to blue. And you know that this is a potion of Dragon's Cruor.
Okay.
And I will give you a description of that one real quick here, since you. Boop. Here it is.
We aced that investigation, Jack.
You did well, yeah. Let's see. Okay. Boop. Boop. And I'll read this for people watching at home. Okay, Potion of Dragon's Cruor. It's a rare potion. Drinking this potion grants the character resistance to one damage type of their choice for 1 hour. Additionally, the creature must roll a d100. On a 1 to 10, the creature trembles violently as the dragon's blood commingles with their own. Medium-sized humanoids turn into members of the dragonborn race, while small humanoids turn into kobolds. Adjust your stats accordingly.
Oh no.
Ooh.
That's awesome.
Womp
That's-
womp womp.
That's sketchy at best for me.
Yes, Aelin, this is like, um, it's like a discount is the wrong word, but there's alchemists who play with certainties,
Hmm.
and those are the ones that are highly sought after. And then there's a whole other contingent of those who craft that are seen as Hmm, less cautious.
Experimental, maybe.
Yeah, and this
I'm
is one of their
familiar.
things. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so I assume Felix would know, but Tyler is about 90% here. The potion of growth. That's like enlarge, reduce. Like you
it's
grow.
it's the enlarge side of enlarge reduce. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Um, so um, the caveat to potion of growth is that it's not concentration based, and it lasts 1d4 hours. So once you grow, you will be that larger size until
It wears
it,
off.
it wears off.
Mhm.
Okay. So what I think is she wants us to show her where we could find advantage with these things. Um, like we could not necessarily just. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Not advantage for us, but necessarily, but the advantage for the goddess that they were offered to. Um, the only two potions. I don't know. I think definitely the animal friendship potion would apply to the druid nature of the the said goddess.
Mhm.
Um, I think the dragon's crur potion. Um, maybe just for the simple fact that there could be a transformation involved. There's a little chance there. It's a little chaotic. Um, the only other thing I think that might apply is the oil of etherealness.
The or the oil of etherealness is how we get into her secret room.
Did you just say that out loud?
Probably not. Yes, probably. I also made a goofy face, so I was saying it jokingly.
The oil of etherealness plays with the other planes.
Yeah. It might assist us in retrieving the egg that we're supposed to retrieve.
Well, we certainly can tell her that much.
As far as scrolls go, I can use like two of these scrolls, Cornelius. I can't use silent image or pyrotechnics. I don't really need comprehend languages. Pretty much speak everything. Um,
I already know silent or comprehend images.
comprehend languages.
Yes, I do not know silent image or pyrotechnics.
Silent
Comprehend the
languages.
images.
Yeah, silent languages.
Silent languages is just ASL, right?
Yeah.
Nice, well played. Um, the I think I could definitely make. Oh, he's gonna spell something for us right now.
No, I'm trying to remember it. It's been a long time since college.
I think that I could find like for finding her egg. I think the two of us with familiars could be really, really quick to do something like that. As far as again, comprehend languages isn't great. I think that the silent images and or the pyrotechnics are something that we could probably I think would come in handy not just for the neutrality of here in this this temple, but retrieving the king's bones, keeping them from being destroyed, keeping them from being desecrated by this acid, is definitely keeping the neutrality of everything. And I think that we could make a case for that too. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I guess I am. As just a lowly scribe wizard, I guess I don't know what she's looking for neutrality. I don't really speak in gray. Sort of a yes or no kind of dwarf. I said I normally either am told I can take something, or I don't take it, or I take it when somebody's not looking.
Because my thing is with the spell scrolls. As a wizard, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can convert those into actual spells that you can use all the time, right?
Yes, I can turn those in without. I just need time.
And blah.
Which we have some of, but not a lot of.
You need
100 gold per level.
50
50
gold.
gold if it's isn't it only if it's my class, is it 50?
We can figure that out if and when the time comes, but I believe it's 50 gold per level. But it's actually 50 gold worth of
supplies.
Yeah, supplies per level.
Really need to find like vellum and fancy ink.
I have the paper. I have 10 sheets of paper. Of the special paper.
There you go.
At a time.
I have paid for, I don't know if it's special ink, but I have bought ink and let me see, I'm trying to find it in my bag. Yeah, I have lied to you.
It'll be the first time.
I think I am. I have a scroll case. I don't think that helps unless we're just putting this. So, yep, I am without ink or paper because I probably ran out of money before leaving town. I do have this giant bag of ball bearings, though.
Money well spent.
Someday. But I would at least like to discuss this with her about how. Oh yeah, and by the way, when you do convert that into your spellbook, Thomas, it deletes. Because as opposed to offering a single scroll to this goddess, you're now offering this spell time and this same.
Man.
Maybe in front of the stat. Underneath their statues.
You're right, Zach. It's 2 hours and 50 gold.
Cool.
So it's 25 gold for my divination spells.
Perfect. Okay.
So I will. And let me know, how does it work with a linguist? Can you copy spells or can you just use scrolls?
I don't know. I'm the tome discovery. So Zach, you're the creator here. You're gonna have to clarify that. Does my tome work like a spellbook?
It does not. So the tome aspect, the discovery aspect simply means that you found a book at some point that communicated to you in this ancient language, the words of power, and you're continuously like researching and translating that book to obtain newer words of power or additional words of power. So, because this is like the ancient language that inspired all sorts of spell inscriptions, it allows you to read spell scrolls. You are an arcane spellcaster, but it is not a book that you. It's not a spell book that you would put new things into.
Got it. Yeah, that might be broken if you can do that. Yeah, so no, I can't. It would just be a single cast of the spell. But it's a spell I can cast without a problem.
Okay.
Because it is on the spell list here somewhere. I saw it a little bit ago.
Yeah, the only one that I do not. I don't think I can. I don't think I can learn pyrotechnic. But I can learn.
Yeah, you can.
Can I?
Yeah, it's a bard, sorcerer, and wizard spell.
It must be out of Xanathar's or something.
Elemental.
Gotcha.
EE.
Gotcha. I'm like, wait a minute. That is
Mhm.
not. That is not
Where
in
is
the
it?
position player's book. So I can learn them all. So what do we want to do? I don't want to. And I'd be saying this in character. I don't want to. I don't want to take things that we do not need because there's obviously enough things that we actually do need.
I agree. And that's why I mean, with the potions, I don't know if we need all of them by any means.
The only two of the spells that I still need would be silent images and pyrotechnics.
And I think both of those could definitely come in handy if we're trying to recover her lost egg.
Okay. That would, yes. And I will pull out a scroll tube and wait for you to talk to her again.
So while they are, so Aelin and Cornelius and Felix have been sorting through these potions and scrolls. What are Clara and Aud up to? Are they interacting in the same space? Or are they exploring other things? Or?
I mean, at this point, I was paying attention to what stuff they were looking at, the different potions, and trying to think if any of them would assist me in assisting the group. Nothing really catches my eye, so I'm just kind of wanting to explore more, but I'm being patient and waiting for my group.
Okay.
I guess yeah. Just kind of I think I pretty much talked a bunch to the Naga, so I'm probably going to be ready to start like scouting the immediate area, looking at our options of directions to travel and kind of see if I can see where they might lead and all that fun stuff. But before I do,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to turn to the Naga and pull out one of my acid resistance potion, and I'm going to give an anecdote, something along the lines of about how we had this old dwarf gardener back at the Knight's Tower that every summer prided himself in his hydrangeas, and he used to tell me about how he would add sulfur to the soil to make the blue ones turn out really bright blue. And he said it was because it made it more acidic. And I would say, however, I don't think this blue hydrangea would do too well if it got too acidic. You know, kind of hinting at
Yeah.
the acid. And he said, well, she claims that this place should be protected. It doesn't make sense for it to be that protected if we're here to collect bones because we're worried about it. You know, I'm like, So just in case, I'm going to leave one of the potions here in case of an emergency, and then I'm going to kind of walk. I'm saying this to her, and I'm going to walk off beaming with pride because I think I'm super clever with my story.
She'll say, so you kind of leave it there on the days.
Yeah.
Okay. She looks down at it and seems to ponder it for a few beats as you step back, and she says, "Well, we can't let that go unrecognized. Fey Knight."
He's dead.
Party's dead.
Yeah.
You've killed us all.
How dare you? That's
You've
the most
insulted
offensive
her.
thing you could have done to a Naga.
Yeah, exactly. No. She says, whether or not you've helped me, truly, will be determined in the future, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But your intent was to do so. So perhaps I will intend to help you, and only the future may tell if it's successful in its own way. If you're heading further in that, and while I don't know all of the ins and outs of how one might get there, I can tell you this: there is another set of doors that you will need to pass through, and she motions with her eyes to the east to those set of double doors you see, and she says,
Is that these, DM?
hang tight.
Oh, are you still down on roll 20?
I'm down. Yeah, it's just responding.
Okay.
The northernmost set of double doors. How about that? Does that help you?
Okay. Yeah, I think so. It's south of the Naga, but
Yep.
not okay.
Slightly south and east. Yep.
About 20 feet wide total.
Yep. She says if you pass through that set of doors and another, and then turn south, you should be able to see your exit. It's not far. Again, I myself have never passed through those doors, nor do I know what sort of interaction you might need to have with that exit, but I know that that's where you'll be headed.
Alrighty. I will thank her and begin scouting the area and I don't know, looking for clues for this egg.
Okay.
See if by chance I can just happen upon something that looks like, oh, this looks suspicious.
Yeah, you look over and
Ta-da!
okay. You know what? I'm gonna have to. No, I'm gonna power through this. I know where everything is. I just lost my Roll20 map also. So it's gonna be an interesting evening.
One of those days, I think.
Oh my gosh. You would think at midnight it would be people would not be on Roll20, but here we are. Okay, here I got line map now. So Ode, are you basically wanting to, or Audi, you're wanting to look around but not open any doors, or what's your kind of intent there?
Yes, first, kind of gather all the exits to this area, because they've been pretty preoccupied with the room on the left there. So I'm gonna kind of check the area, see what our movement options are. Tell them that I was told that there's an exit, whatever that may mean in actuality, to the east there, down that one hallway. And then, yeah,
Okay.
planning our next move.
Yep. So you can, if you move your mini, and again I can't see it, so you'll just have to, I'll just have to trust that it works. But if you move your mini south, um, you should see like a little zigzag passage. Um, uh, my map just
Nope.
appeared. Well, maybe. Um, and it kind of winds its way into another large area.
Yeah, it looks like there's, I think that's a set of double doors just to the south on a smaller hallway, and then, yeah, I see what you're talking about, the zigzag, and there's a few
Yep.
doors down to the south.
There you go. So you are getting a little ways away from your companions, not super far. So if you want to explore that little hallway there, seems to um, open up to a bigger area without having to interact with a door.
Yeah. What happened to Char?
Char is with you.
Okay.
He doesn't seem he seems nonplussed by you at the moment. Like he's here because he has nowhere else to be, uh, but he's around.
Gotta work on those affection points.
Yes.
I'll say to him, well, you ready to find this egg?
Turns to you, mouth opening. I know that place.
I'm gonna say, well, at least you're excited.
You stick your head down and you move your way into that winding passageway. Um, Again, you're only like 20 feet away from Clara, and not that far away from all the others, so it's not like you're disappearing out of sight or out of earshot.
I'm sure they can hear this screeching bird as
Yeah.
I'm trying to talk to it.
Yes, exactly.
I'm gonna follow at a distance.
Put your way over there. It does indeed. You can see that it kind of opens up at that point. Uh, and through that area, could you go ahead and make me? It's not going to be a difficult check, but go ahead and make me a perception check.
Oh, I'm going to fail the heck out of this.
That's the spirit.
13.
13. Okay, that's not too bad. So as you peer through that little gap, you can't make out a large section of that room, but what you can make out is that whole space looks like it is covered in soot. It's just like the floor, like the polished marble and everything is blackened, as if a great fire through the residue. Um, um, you, with your human eyes, can see um, some so a across the floor. And step into that room a little bit. It's
Oh,
now loading.
yeah, I'm standing at the doorway. Did it move me up there on yours?
You are. See if it'll work. Ping. South of the two doorways on either side.
Yeah, I'm standing in between them, like
Okay.
to the bottom half of them, but
There we go.
It just gets
That works.
inaccurate.
That works. So what you can tell is that There is that area down there is dark. Not like dark as in like the area is encased
Not
in.
like magical tree dark.
No, it's just dark because it's not illuminated by anything, and so whatever light, the only light that is presented there comes from your area. So you kind of see things as if through shadow, and you see a small creature, exact makeup you can't tell, but you see something moving, and as it moves across the floor, you see that the square marble pieces do indeed illuminate, but when they illuminate through that soot, just like the faintest, like spider web crack of light, and all you can tell is that it is some sort of a um, tiny or small-sized humanoid moving in there.
Hmm.
And then you see like another, and maybe another. Like there's several creatures moving in that space.
Hmm. I will light a. I already have a torch lit.
Oh, if you have a torch, yeah. If you have your torch on you, you can see a bit more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you kind of hold your torch out, and it catches light several sets of eyes, and as your eyes adjust to the see that there are several demonic small creatures staring back at you.
Oh, you've done it now.
Can't
I
let
found
anybody
the demon
you
room.
speak.
Um,
I
Yeah,
need to be
you
in there.
hear this foul
Common, Elvish,
speak
and Sylvan.
from one of them. Points a red taloned hand at you, and they start to kind of like lumber towards you like chimpanzees.
That is
Hunched,
not
Found
good.
demon chunks.
hunched bow legs, longer arms
Sounds
than
miserable.
they have any reason to be. And they're moving um, on quick count
How
at
many of
least
them are there?
5. And they get ever closer. They cover the distance pretty rapidly, and they'll get within 5 feet of you in the span of a couple moments if you let them.
Uh, I will
Okay.
probably take a step back. So there's the hallway in front of me, and I'm gonna yell back, "Hey, I think we got a problem over here."
I will be on my way.
I'm
Okay.
gonna go to the doorway so I can see more clearly.
I'm gonna kind of take a defensive position there because while they're approaching, and walking quickly towards someone isn't necessarily a threatening action, so or an
It's a
attack
little
action. So
aggressive.
it's a little aggressive, but I
A
mean
little
they could
bit.
just be like, "Hey, get out of here!" And it's just my character's
Hey, hey, hey.
personality. He's not the
Sure.
attack for
Yeah, you
strike
can
first,
definitely
ask
tell
questions
now
later
that
kind
these
of
are
person.
very small, like tiny sized creatures, maybe a foot and a half in height. They're just little ones.
They're just
You can
little demons.
Yeah, they're just little ones. I mean, I
no.
don't want to just squish
Yeah.
them.
I
That'd
mean,
be kind of
they're
mean.
they're the prototypical like
It's
imp-looking
time to roll them
things. They
back.
have their red forms. They have the scorpion in their tail. They have leathery wings and claws. And as you like stand back in that entryway there, and others start to come toward you, you can see that they start to like flutter up on their wings, and some of them get up along the door for the walls there, and they kind of peer around. Um, and there's ever more of them. There's at least 7 or 8 now, and then you also see a couple of like insect-looking things along with them, about the same size.
I think I found the no-no room here.
No room.
But
You weren't
The red
you
room.
weren't by yourself, were you?
I was tailing him.
I'm going to kind of say aloud in common, in the direction of these things, because you said they're kind of like peeking around the door frame or door
Yeah, they're
hallway
staying
there. That I
in
think I
there,
haven't just
right.
like charged in or anything. I'm like, I'm gonna say something along the lines of any in common, even though I know it's a long shot. Any chance you guys haven't seen a big blue egg around here, have you? Check all our angles, you know.
Doesn't hurt to try.
You say that in
Just here
common.
for the egg. You guys go back to being demons, but
Yeah, I don't. It's like because I'm like, I doubt they'll speak Sylvan or Elvish, so I'll try
Mhm.
common at least.
They
everyone
kind
knows
of
common,
like
right?
cock their heads back and forth. You see like little spittles of drool kind of pooling from their mouths and dripping onto the floor. And again, they mutter in a language that you are not familiar with. Let's see, Clara, I know you, and I think Aelin, both of you said that you were over there at this point. What languages do you speak?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is Abyssal.
Is
Okay.
it Abyssal?
There you go. Fair enough.
Yeah, I know that one.
So they seem to be talking amongst themselves. Perhaps they do not anticipate you knowing their language, or perhaps they do not care if you know their language. But you hear like one of them say like, tasty little tidbits. And another one say, why don't one of you circle back around and make sure that these are the only ones in this space? And you see one set of eyes kind of disappear.
Don't go anywhere. We just want to find an
The
egg.
eyes kind of
I
like
will say
peer
in
back
Abyssal.
over around the corner. One set. And one of them, she speaks. You looking for? What are you looking for? Egg?
A blue egg.
Blue egg.
About
blue
this
egg,
big.
Blue egg. Haven't seen it. You can roll an insight check.
Are they telling the truth?
21. You think so? You think so?
21.
Say, one of them says, say, you all look new here. And, you know the lingo. That's a good sign. Why don't you all come on in and, we'll take you to see Byron. Well, maybe Byron knows about the egg. That's always a possibility. Byron knows a lot of things. Oh, Byron would love a good waste of time.
I don't want to waste Byron's time.
Says, come on in. Make yourself at home.
I'll tell my friends here. They want us to come in.
That seems super sketchy.
Yes, it does.
Why? What
Well,
do they
Well, have they? Did you ask them about the egg?
They've not seen such a thing. They said uh, Byron would like to see her, to have her company, whoever that may be.
Byron.
Hmm.
I don't know.
There we go.
That's what I got.
What do you guys think?
Um, I don't normally trust giant baby demons, but I'm not sure what choice we have at the moment. Somebody's gone and explored a little too deeply.
No, they are
Sorry, I
deliberating.
disconnected there for a second. Did I miss anything?
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
we said
I-
you explored
Too
deeply.
greedily and too deep.
Cornelia said that.
um. I'm going to think a moment about what the Naga said about learning about the different facets of good and evil while the party deliberates, because I have no idea what's going on.
Aelin, you see one of the two uh, creatures that's been addressing you so far. One of them says, is, is that a cleric you have with you? That
Can I send
Curious.
my blustery in the room?
yes, you can.
Do I see anything that I shouldn't have seen or should be seeing?
So you can see 100 feet, right, with through the eyes of your blust.
Mhm.
Roll me a perception check.
Okay, let's do this. I've already used my two portents for the day, so this should go fantastically. Let's roll a perception, which is a -1.
All right.
A natural 20.
Did I?
Yeah.
Nice. A 19
Okay, with natural.
with a natural.
Okay.
He's just a blustery boy.
Mm-hmm. So zipping through, you can see a few things with your creature's vision. Beep up
More
over
than anything, I'm just looking for something evil that's gonna, if we come through here, that's gonna whoop our butts.
everything. There, you see, um, further. You see, perhaps 10. Well, you saw exactly. You saw 11 tiny creatures inside that space crowded around the door. And then zipping further south, you see a um, pile of what can only be bubbling from the floor further south. Molten
Is that
rock.
where the 25 is?
That is where 25 is.
Okay.
And then zipping into area 26, which is further south, you see a couple sets of double doors, but there is nothing in area 26.
Okay. Okay, and I just take a quick look past to the east
Mm-hmm.
from 20.
Yeah, you can kind of peer up into there, and you see that the area is lit, somewhat lit over in that area, and you do see other small creatures moving in that area.
Are they coming this way?
No.
Okay. So I will bring it back, and I will tell
Make
Felix,
a before
who
you
is standing. No, go ahead.
before you pass through. If is invisible,
Not while he's moving.
but not while he's moving, and is through the hallway. Is he not?
Yes, he is moving. Yeah, he is moving in the darkness.
Okay, so we're gonna roll my end if it'll. You know what? I'll just roll it in person because that's what we're gonna do tonight, evidently.
You having a hard time there in
Yeah.
Kansas City?
Yeah. Okay. So I rolled a natural 15. So, as you zip through, gosh, you see one of your several of the sets of eyes kind of turn back towards you and swipe at the air.
They make that attack at disadvantage.
Yes. So the first one misses horribly. The second one misses horribly. The third one rolled a 18.
And or that was his hot low.
That was his low. Yep.
Ooh, it's a bad day for Whiff.
Oh, 5 points of damage slashing damage.
Ugh. Whiff is not doing good. He stands completely still.
Well, hang tight because you got 11 creatures to get through here. You did send. I was very clear that they were all in the doorway that you send them through. So.
Yes. How many of them have the perception of a 50? They all got 15s on their perception?
I'm quick. So.
Sketchy.
2, 3 more have above a 15 on the perception check. That's a hit. That's a miss. And that's a miss. So one more hit. For 4 more points of damage. And you
Poor
see,
Whiff.
like a monkey,
Whiff,
like
Whiff has
yes, one like claw into whatever it sees moving through. One, hang tight, and as it brings both of its clawed hands together to snag Wisp, the ethereal air current that is the creature just poofs out of existence, and this imp drops to the floor.
Is it a reaction for me to it's not a reaction for me to poof it out, right?
That's an action.
Okay. Well, bummer. And I one single tear goes down Cornelius's cheek.
You can bring it back.
Poor
Just takes
Whiff.
another ritual casting. Another
Yep.
10 gold worth of incense.
Yep, I only had enough for one ritual cast of him.
Well,
So
we
we're
know
gonna
where
have to find.
you know where more incense is. So they'll kind of peek up and they'll say, the imp will say, "Unfair. Sending something we can't see in here. We can't let that happen."
So it wasn't us. Do you have a pest problem in your room back there?
Well, roll a deception check there.
Oh, hope it's good. Nope,
What'd you get there?
not
Don't know if
solid.
it does.
That's a total of 7.
All the imps grin and they say, "Oh, we can do that too, you know. and they just flicker out like street lamps. Just poof, 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 and they all go invisible.
Oh no.
You hear, uh,
Oh no.
Lord Byron would so much like to have an audience with each one of you, or one of you, or each
You
one
done messed up,
individual.
Ode. This is definitely all on you. This makes me scared. I don't know what to do.
I
Poke
have
him with
no
your
idea what they're
stick.
saying.
There's 11 there, and I put my hands over to Tyler's ear, and I'm like, "There's 11 of them. We can't be outnumbered." Can we just slowly back up from the doorway?
Yeah.
Get up.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have a great day.
Close the door. Close the door.
There's no door.
Ah!
It's
Make
just
a
an
door.
opening.
Make a
Are you back?
door.
Are you backing up?
Yeah.
Do they follow?
You hear a voice
They're
say,
invisible.
Oh no, they're invisible.
yeah, you hear a voice say, "Don't go, don't go.
We've made a terrible choice, people.
We'll play nice." You see one of them pop back into existence, still at the doorway. I simply want a conversation. Just a
We can have the conversation here with our friend Hibiscus.
conversation with
I-
Byron here.
I have Byron come out here.
Yeah.
Byron will come out here. It's not to his liking. This is our space, and that's the way we like it.
Is Byron.
Would put it, he's like us, only better.
Oh, you guys don't want to put up with that. You're probably just as good as him. Why aren't you guys king?
You seem to know more than
Because Byron is like us,
others
only
in
better.
I don't think you should talk down on yourself. I think you have wonderful potential.
Self-deprecation only goes so far.
Deprecation will go as far as you let it, my dear.
I take another step back.
I start looking in my bag. I go and I'm gonna go to good old Plan B, and I'm gonna pull out my bedroll.
Got a much more comfortable place to take a nap. Over here in the darkness.
What are we doing, guys? What's
Tell
the
you
plan?
what, it seems like you all are at a standstill. We'll be here whenever you make up your mind. And you see him kind of off screen the door frame.
Okay, bye.
I'm backing away, still facing the door frame.
I'm still spinning in circles because I'm paranoid that these things are all invisible around us. I
I'm
should
going
move
to.
out to. Oh, go ahead,
Okay.
Tyler.
You go ahead.
I said I sort of move out into my own space, and I start taking this like a giant parachute with my bedroll and trying just spinning around myself, hoping to catch.
Roll me a.
Yes, I am not physically trying to damage them, by the way.
With disadvantage.
But just
Oh,
trying to
sure,
attack
sure.
them.
But I gotta find some way to see
I
if you
I
have a chance
I
to
ha-
one if it's there.
I 100% understand. I just wanted to let you know that this
Yeah.
is not.
It's a pillow
is
fight. If anything.
Yeah.
It's a pillow fight with demons.
8 plus whatever you would add for a pillow fight.
Okay. So you spin it around and you don't capture anything.
I feel
But
no
again-
way. They've obviously left us alone. There's nothing in my awesome pillow, our awesome bedroll trap.
Yeah. Nope.
Capture them in your bed.
If you guys remember, 2 weeks ago, I almost did this to the flying sword. and Ode took down the flying sword before we had the chance. At this point, I'm nervously stuffing the bedroll back in my bag. I said, Ode, so what did you see down there?
I don't know what you're talking about. Let's go check out this doorway up here.
Well, there's a doorway right here. Let's see what's in here.
How about we finish
Yeah,
what
the
we
nice-
started? How about we finish what we started up here before we?
Let's do that quick. I think our explorer not ready just to sit and watch us talk about loots.
I'm even though I'm sure she already knows, I'm going to inform Hydrangea of the imps to the south.
Where I'm like, Felix, I think her name's Hibiscus.
Hibiscus.
She says, yes, they're
Or
a nuisance.
I imagine your presence keeps them at bay.
Yes, that's quite the stuff. Presence keeps them at bay. Their presence keeps them at bay.
They serve.
They
Yeah,
refer.
what's his deal?
Yeah, they refer to him as Byron. I haven't to know what he.
Okay.
Is nothing more severe than another one of their kind. But who can tell? There may be no Byron. There may be just their way of luring.
I think it's a trap. I think we're all
It's
dead.
a trap.
Picture that with the squid face now.
If I was level 3, if we were level 3, I think we could handle it. But
I got instantly scared.
You know, if skipped half of the first part of the dungeon, then perhaps they would be level 3.
And
fair
now we
enough.
rolled a random room that led downstairs.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's see if we can find a lower then.
Than this? Did you say keep going down? It's like Diablo.
No. Lower level, like
Like
Lower-
yeah,
lower
I thought you-
lower level in the meta context, not the physical.
I thought you meant it was like Diablo. You enter one crypt
Yeah,
and instantly go into the
geographical.
next.
Crypt level 1.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, well, we got a bunch
So-
of doors around us. We know that the top east door is double doors are an exit, so we do have some other double doors, and then we have another door down there.
Before we move on and we go as a group this time,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
what are you doing with Naga Bro? With any of the stuff you need, Felix?
So I was just going to explain that, especially with the scrolls, there could be greater use, and therefore, from using the scroll, multiple times. Third frontier. I did not not tell you to put them in your ticket.
They're in there. She can do what she wants with that.
She narrows her eyes.
I said, remember, good at heart. Is she still giving me a hard time?
She seems to mull over the pitch, and she says, your reasoning is sound. Your follow-through...
Sounder.
Hopefully. Take them with you for now. If you return them, or prove your intentions noble with them, then I think that we'll all feel good about it.
Very good. The only other thing we were curious about, I'm gonna scroll back here a ways.
Was
Actually,
the potion of Jaquar Noir?
Dragon's Cur. And the oil of etherealness. The Dragon's Cur, I think, would be great honor to a druid goddess, as something that is both chaotic and could promote transformation, but as well as damage. Resistances that go beyond the standard, much like a druid would.
Agreed.
There is an element of chaos to Lamis, and you recall her tongue being vine. She says, take it, but understand that if Lamis does not find your cause to align with hers, or your intentionality in using this potion to be something that she finds favorable, she may influence the potency of that liquid to a heightened state.
Very well.
And again, same as with the scrolls, if you bring it back, all is well. If you come back and convince me of your putting it to good use, then all is well. If you come back without a favorable tale, then I'll find it hard to accept. So you're taking 2 scrolls and a potion, or 2 potions?
2 potions.
Yeah. Yeah, she'll allow it. You have convinced her. I think you're to Zach's line of thinking, your line of reasoning to play up putting it to use in the goddess's for the goddess's intent or the goddess's favor is a good argument, and one that she is accepting as long as you maintain that intentionality. So I'm happy to let you take 2 of each. Okay. So it is 12:10, and we're not on any sort of cliffhanger here by any means, but I think that's a good place to stop before you guys open the door.
Also, while we're having internet issues, so
yes, exactly.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win. Yep. Or so let's call that good. We'll pick up there with you guys to find the door in a couple weeks. Thanks to us through the lag. We really appreciate it. I think the audio, as far as I can tell, has been pretty good, but video's been a little wonky tonight. We'll do what we can, see what can be done about that for next week or 2 weeks from now. Be sure to check out our stream of world building, the Drifters Atlas, tomorrow at 9 o'clock Central. And then again, probably this weekend, we'll be coming back to Dungeon on. Let me pull it up here. There we go. On the 9th. 9th of June. So, anything else we need to cover before we log off here, folks?